A very good afternoon to all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. So today is Sunday, 25th July 2021. We shall be continuing our sharing from this book, Cultivating the Bodhisattva Way. We are at page 78, the third sharing. Today we are at section C, the third sharing. Bodhisattva Way Special Puja, dated 26 April 2016. That was more than 5 years ago. This is the third sharing on this topic, cultivating the Bodhisattva Way. Okay. C1 is introduction. A very good evening to all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Tonight, 26 April 2016 is a very auspicious time. Yes, we are going to hold a special puja to commemorate our 2nd of January 2015 commencement date of our Bodhisattva aspiration and vow, so that all those who have the condition to be here can also benefit from it. As long as you have the faith and sincerity and you have committed to improve yourself and your cultivation to develop this proper Dhamma understanding, then you have the condition to be here and there will be no problem at all. So don't worry about what people say or what your thoughts tell you. Forget about them. This particular aspiration and vow will help you develop your cultivation and help you plant the seed of Bodhi, the Bodhi mind, deep within your nature, so that in future when you have to come or choose to come, this Bodhi mind will manifest. Even during era when the Buddha's the Buddha's dispensation or sasana is no longer in existence, it will still manifest. It will remind you of your aspiration and vow and the cultivation. As these vows and aspiration are very powerful and magnificent, that's the reason why we make this aspiration and vow, so that we can have the right understanding life after life, whenever we arise. Hence, this particular ceremony of taking the 3 sets of pure Bodhisattva precepts, together with the right aspiration and the 4 basic vows of the Bodhisattva, will be very beneficial to cultivator, especially those who have the sincerity and the faith. You only need to have the faith and the sincerity to aspire to go this way, like what was stated in the WhatsApp message I sent out earlier. There are 5 stages of Bodhi mind development to cultivate the Bodhisattva way, and all this involve the Bodhi mind. After you have planted the seed of Bodhi, the first stage of Bodhi mind development or step, which is to develop the aspiration to walk this way, to commit yourself to take this precept and vow with understanding, has been established. So that is a very important first stage. So you have to make the affirmation with sincerity, faith, and understanding. I will explain the understanding part later, where these 4 basic vows will help you develop a lot of wisdom and understanding, including love and compassion, leading to the perfection of renunciation and wisdom, etc. To enable you to complete this Bodhisattvahood cultivation to realize Sammasambuddhahood, what you need are just faith, sincerity, and perseverance. You don't have to be smart. You don't need to have good past condition, etc. What is more important is this life. You have the condition to make this aspiration, vows and commit yourself to plant this seed of Bodhi so that this Bodhi mind planted can be nurtured, grow, mature, and bring forth the causes and conditions for you to have this understanding life after life to continue the cultivation. This is most important. So please do not listen to what people tell you or say. Last week or last Tuesday, I had already read out to you what Master Sun Yan said. You have nothing to lose, but everything to gain by going this way. Where this way is so beautiful, they can help you do away with the mark of a self and ego, the egoic mind, the self-centeredness of an individual walking this way and striving to realize enlightenment. When the Buddha says strive on with heedfulness, he is not asking you to have the craving to become enlightened. Strive on with heedfulness means to work hard, to train your mind, to develop the heedfulness. After you have the heedfulness, enlightenment in the here and now is guaranteed. As the Buddha said under Dhammapada verse 21, the heedful never dies. So this is the meaning. It isn't mean you have to strive when you meditate. No. You strive on with faith, sincerity, and diligence to train your mind to have heedfulness. The moment you are heedful, you are ever mindful, and then you can understand many things. And the cultivation will come to fruition. The Noble Eightfold Path will be understood. Then you can fulfill the four basic vows with understanding. Later on, I will explain more on all this when we start. So special puja. We shall now prepare ourselves for the special puja. Compose our mind to develop the faith, sada, leading to the virya. Then we shall start the puja offering. Now you all can stand mindfully and form a line. You can face each other if there is too many of us. We are on time, 1 more minute before the commencement of puja at 8:10 a.m. Miss Lee, do you have anything to offer? Come, form a line. Compose your mind, develop the sada, virya, and the joy within, and then we can commence the puja offering. We will start off with the offering of the tray of clear water, incense, and candlelight. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So rejoicing with the puja offering mindfully, and end of puja offering. This is to cut short. Then the chanting is the same as what we did just now. Puja chanting. You can be seated. Compose your mind to develop the spiritual faculty of sada, virya, sati, samadhi, and panya. Then we shall mindfully commence the puja chanting. So again, the salutation to all the great beings. Namo Pensi Secha Monifo and all those things. Then we chant the salutation to the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. Then we take refuge. We renew our 5 precepts. Then we chant the Padipa Puja. Padipa Puja means the special puja offering, significance of them. So all these are in Pali. Maybe for those who are not familiar with Pali, I just chant it. Ganna Sarapa Ditena Dipena Tamadang Sina Tiloka Dipang Sambutang Pujayami Tamonudang Ganda Sambara Yutena Topena Hang Sukhang Hina Pujaye Pujaniyang Tang Puja Bhajana Muttamang Vanna Ganda Gono Petang Etang Suma Santatin Pujayami Munindasa Siri Pada Sarorohe Pujemi Budang Sumena Nena Punena Matena Jahotu Mokang Pupang Malayati Yata Idang Me kayo tatayati vinasa bhavang adivese adivase tu no bante paniyang parikapitang anukampang upadaya paniganha tu mutamang adivase tu no bante pale parikapitang anukampang upadaya patiganha tu mutamang adivase tu no bante bojanang parikapitang anukampang upadaya patiganha tu mutamang. Then after that, we have the making our aspiration based on our understanding and the significance of all this puja offering. So the English translation is as below on the significance of offering of light. May this offering of light to the Buddha bring forth the causes and conditions to illuminate our mind and help arise the needed clarity and understanding to dispel all darkness or ignorance therein. The significance of offering of pure clear water. May this offering of pure clear cool water lead us to the pure clear Dhamma that cools and doses off the fire of all defilements within our mind. The significance of offering of incense. May our morality, virtue, and understanding shine forth far and wide, just like the fragrance of this incense, which we are offering to the Blessed One, who is perfect in wisdom and virtue. The significance of offering of fruits. May this offering of fruits remind us of the Dana Parami, Parami of generosity, and the fruition of our karma, so that we will diligently strive on with heedfulness to attain the perfect fruition as soon as possible. The significance of offering of flowers. May this constant offering of flowers to the Blessed One strengthen our faith and constantly remind us of the impermanence of this body, so that we can diligently and sincerely strive on to cultivate Sila, Samadhi, and Panya, leading to ultimate liberation, the born-free Nibbana. And finally, the making of overall aspiration. By the power of all these merits born of these offerings, may our spiritual faculties of Sada, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, and Panya be further strengthened until they become balas of power. So this is to help you evoke the merits for causes and conditions to strengthen your spiritual faculty until they become unshakable balas. Then there's a note. These 5 spiritual faculties are very important for cultivation, and I will elaborate on it in more detail later today, so that we all can have the understanding and ability to walk the path of Bodhisattvahood with greater ease. Once your spiritual faculty, your 5 spiritual faculties are established, your meditation and cultivation will become like automatic and very easy. After that, you don't have to worry anymore because you will progress all the way. Then together with our today's understanding and sincere determination and affirmation, aspiration and vow, they will plant the great seed of Bodhi for the Bodhi mind to take root firmly within your nature, so that this Bodhi mind will manifest itself whenever you have to come or choose to come, even though it is just the beginning journey of walking this Bodhisattva way for most of you. But you all need not worry, because the way is not that difficult when you understand. You just have to aspire with deep faith and sincerity to walk this way sincerely and diligently. And the first stage of Bodhi mind development for establishing that Bodhi mind will be firmly established, and that by itself is very important and very powerful, because like the sutra mentioned, to receive these Bodhisattva precepts, it is itself very, very meritorious. The reason being, without this Bodhi mind being planted, this way is as good as non-existent. You just cannot walk it, because without the Bodhi mind, you cannot even develop the understanding of this way. So that Bodhi mind, that enlightened thought, to walk this way is very important. That's the reason why we have to develop this understanding, because the Bodhi mind not only nurtures your spiritual nature, but it also brings forth the causes and conditions for you to walk this way with understanding. Then later on, you will understand how all these vows can help you develop great wisdom, understanding, and help in the perfection of all virtues, to finally develop the wisdom needed to sever all vexation and develop the sincere love and compassion to take living beings across. All this you will come to understand. Then you will make very strong aspiration, so that life after life, when you have to come or choose to come, you will always have this true Dhamma understanding. After that, you will commit yourself to understand these rather important right views, so that life after life, whenever you arise, you will not go wrong or go astray. You will not make any more mistake. Then after that, you will understand the significance of these 4 basic vows, which you have taken on day 1 as you walk this path. Following the notes I sent out, now is the yellow card. There are 5 stages involved in the Bodhi mind development, leading to the perfection of Sammasambuddhahood. You don't have to worry about them. The first stage is just to aspire to walk this way. This alone is going to bring forth tremendous benefits and merits. After that, when you have the faith, sincerity, and perseverance to start to develop the actual cultivation with understanding, then the second stage will come about. Stage 2 is also quite easy. When you are able to severe and endure all suffering and affliction, vexation, it means you have developed the requisite wisdom. Then you can develop the perfection of renunciation. Because all of suffering comes from attachment, grasping, and one's clinging to the 5 aggregates of form and mind. If you can sever all suffering and vexation, it means you are able to develop the wisdom not to be deluded by this phenomenal world, so that you will not grasp, cling, or hold on to them. That's the reason why you will have the ability to renounce all these worldly things. But yet, you can still live life in this phenomenal world with understanding. You can use them when there are conditions for them to arise. All these are great understanding, leading to great perfection. Then after that, you can cultivate the third stage. You are realizing your true Bodhi mind, the Buddha nature. All this will follow as you cultivate the 4 basic vows. Because when you vow to penetrate and understand all Dhamma in whatever manner, the limitless way to truth, and you vow to cultivate them all, to realize them all. As you do this, you realize the enlightenment, and your nature will shine forth and become very different. After that, you can liberate your mind to relinquish or renounce samsara, and you will not attach anymore. Then you will walk this way with ease to cultivate the fourth stage, to develop the perfection of the 10 perfection to become Sammasambuddha. Then the fifth stage is, of course, the consummation or the final realization of all wisdom and virtue, the perfection of all the 10 perfection, leading to Sammasambuddhahood. All this can happen because the first seed of Bodhi planted today. If you don't plant this seed of Bodhi to arise the Bodhi mind or the Bodhi Chitta in the Tibetan tradition, or the enlightenment thought to go this way to perfect the Bodhisattva way to become Sammasambuddha, then it is impossible to walk this way. This is the seed that will nurture and mature in you, so that in future when you come, even without the Buddha Sasana, you can still have the understanding to walk this way. That's the reason why earlier on I said, don't miss this window of opportunity, meaning this window of opportunity to plant this Bodhi mind or Bodhi seed, so that in future when you have to come or you choose to come, even without the Buddha Sasana, that seed of Bodhi that has been planted will manifest and your nature will know, and you will connect, and you will recall, and you will be reminded of these vows, because these vows are like your precepts. Out of love and compassion for you, the Buddha introduced the precept so that your karmic nature will not fall, so that you will know how to avoid all evil, do good and purify the mind to develop the wisdom. But the four basic vows go beyond just the advice of the Buddha. They will help do away with your self-centeredness, the egoic mind that wants to be enlightened, and that strong ego of scarcity, which is self-delusion, which is very difficult to root out. The pitfall that can hinder one from going this way is your conditioned thought or thinking, which will tell you many things, that this way is too long. Are you sure you can do it? Then what happens if you fail to complete it? Fear will arise, and that's the reason why you can get into trouble. Wherever there is fear, there is delusion. The thought is not you. When you understand that these five areas of form and mind are just a vehicle and tool for you to come, to do your work, to perfect your cultivation, to develop your karmic nature and your spiritual nature, then you will understand according to the Diamond Sutra teaching, that you will be able to cultivate without the mark of a self, etc. That's how the ego can be watered down and finally eradicated or rooted out through these four great vows, cultivation. Because you come for the living being, it's not about yourself anymore. You vow to save the limitless living being and take them all across. Then you vow to endure and severe all suffering, all vexation, so that you will have the wisdom to cultivate renunciation, so that you will not hold on to anything, no matter how precious or how dear they are, because they are all conditioned arising entity or phenomena, hence not real, not what you think. So this ability to penetrate the universal characteristics of impermanence, leading to the understanding of non-self and empty nature existence, is very important. That is the key understanding or wisdom we need to awaken to. Then you will vow to perfect all wisdom. That is the third vow. So that you can have the ability to have all living beings or sentient beings and take them all across. We are doing the work of a Bodhisattva. That is how you can become very different. You will understand many things because of your cultivation. Then you can teach, you can share. because you are no longer self-centered and egoic. That's the reason why the Bodhisattva Way is very different and very unique and very beautiful. Then the last stage is, of course, the consummate perfection of the 10 perfection. By the time you finish the first 3 sets of the 4 basic vows, you would have developed a lot of perfection. The first vow will develop love and compassion. The second will develop renunciation and wisdom. And the third is perfection of wisdom. When you perfect your wisdom, you will know how to make aspiration, aditana, and all those affirmations. Then your dana parami or generosity parami is always there because you only give. There is no self involved. Hence, technically, you never wanted anything and you never take anything because you understand everything is just condition arising, causal phenomenon. And all this will become very clear to you as you go through this cultivation. That's the reason why it's all about love, compassion, wisdom, and renunciation. Then regarding all the other perfection of virya, generosity, and even satya or truth, you will automatically know how to perfect them because you will know it's never worthwhile to lie, to cheat, to deceive, or to go against all these nature's spiritual law that governs life and existence. All these understanding are very beautiful. Now we will continue with the 7 puja aspiration on sharing merits and transfer of merits to all beings. So just now we did finish the significance of sharing and transfer of merits. So we will chant this. May these merits be shared and transferred to all beings without exception, especially to those who have the condition and affinity to receive them. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Then only the puja end. Okay, that's C3, part 3 is invocation to the devas. This one we have done. We can just skip through. We go now to the end. Okay, we will now chant the great compassionate mantra, followed by the heart sutta. Maybe we chant them one time each because we don't have that much time to spare. Normally we will chant them at least 3 times, but that day we need to take the Bodhisattva vow, so we need to conserve time. Okay, you all can get ready to start. I will ring the bell, then you can commence the chanting. So the chanting lasted about 9 minutes. After that, we end. So C4, briefing before the taking of the actual Bodhisattva vow. So this part is very important. You pay attention. Now I will do the actual briefing before we take the Bodhisattva vow. Precepts or aspiration and the 4 basic vows. I will guide you along. This book, The Method of No Method, came last Sunday when Sister Yin Chan had an appointment with me. She was so kind as to take me and my wife for dinner. After that, she told me she went to Taiwan. She followed the tour organized by Tzu the English section group. But this time she went to visit Master Sun Yan's Fa Kusan again. Then she brought back this book. One of the book is this book with the title The Method of No Method. And she said, just like what Brother Theo's teaching is all about, one method never defines the meditation. For those who don't understand what is meditation, they will believe that the meditation method does define the meditation. That's the reason why he never used the word meditation. He said, the method of no method. When you meditate with a method, it means You don't understand what meditation is. Method is just a skillful means with some instruction to train your mind. She asked me, Benedetto, do you want to read this book? The title is so interesting, and she passed it to me. And initially, I thought it was about meditation, but it turned out to be a retreat conducted by him in the year 1990 at their Farkusan branch in New York, USA. This book became a bestseller and is indeed a very beautiful book. He taught the silent illumination, which was the meditation that he learned all those years when he was with his teacher. His silent illumination teaching is in fact quite similar to what I teach you all, except that I use another word or name to describe it. I call it the silent mind, impure awareness, and he called it the silent illumination. You see, silent mind, impure awareness means the mind is silent, but there is awareness inside. That's why the awareness, he called it illumination. He said your mind is silent, but it is with illumination, means with awareness. I always said, meditate with a silent mind with clear awareness within. That's why I always say relax, maintain awareness. Silent everything, don't try to know, don't try to do anything. He also knew that silence without illumination is samatha meditation. Later I will read to you. Then you will understand illumination is similar to awareness. You must have the ability to be silent with awareness within. So this silence must be born of a free mind. Silent with full awareness in the midst of your daily life. And that type of samadhi is the real one, not the one that sits like a statue and has no illumination. Illumination doesn't mean you see light. It means clarity and awareness within. It can live life, it can understand things, and it can awaken to the truth. The mind is not in absorption, not in one-pointedness concentration. Then there's another part which he talked about, the Bodhi mind, which was what I want you all to develop the understanding of. But I didn't expect this topic to come about so fast. At first I thought I would teach you all stage by stage. Initially, maybe just to let you understand the importance of planting the seed of Bodhi to develop the Bodhi resolve to walk this way. Then only I will slowly teach you all the other things. But then this book came in the nick of time. When I read it last night, I was full of joy because the part on the Bodhi mind is very beautiful. Then I decided to photostat the book for some of you. But before I send it for photostating, I used my handphone to WhatsApp the 3 important pages for you all to read first. The 5 stages of Bodhi mind development to realize Sammasambuddhahood is clearly listed in those pages, means page 39, 40, and 41 of his book. When you take the Bodhisattva vows, the first stage of Bodhi mind development is to aspire sincerely to walk this way so that the seed of Bodhi is planted deep in your consciousness. Is this first step so difficult? No. Is there any danger? No. There is none at all, isn't it? So forget about what other people who don't understand tell you. Those who don't understand, they put fear into people. They say, don't play. Taking the Bodhisattva vow is a serious matter because it involves eons and eons of cultivation, meaning the ego is still there, delusion is still there, and the fear that arises is from the delusion And these people who say all these things are not much different from those who are rigid, especially the Theravada Buddhist who doesn't understand Mahayana teaching or believe in the Mahayana teaching. And they have the tendency to go around telling people that Mahayana teaching is not the real teaching. If you do this and put fear into others, into all this potential aspirant who wants to walk the Bodhisattva way to plant the seed of Bodhi, then do you know what will happen to you? You will be obstructed. You will have karmic obstruction. So this karmic obstruction will obstruct you from receiving this Mahayana teaching for many, many lives to come. That's the reason why recently there are at least 2 or 3 Kayamita who came and talked to me on this matter because of what they have heard and read from other sources. They say going this way is very dangerous because a lot of things you cannot realize or do. And there are a lot of restrictions too. Some even quote the sutra. Then one lady said, I'm not ready. I don't want this type of quality. Sorry, I don't have this type of quality. Means she said she thinks she is not up to the standard. Then I reply, I say, please do understand that all these are your thought telling you. This is not wisdom. What have you got to lose by making all this aspiration and the taking of the 4 basic vows? Does it cause you any problem or harm you? Or it only benefits you? All these are very simple inquiry. And the 4 basic vows didn't even say you cannot do this, you cannot do that. It is no different from just taking the precepts. Except now you vow through an understanding which is even more beautiful. So I will give this book to those who have the understanding, condition, and affinity to receive it. Yun Chan, you have the original book in it, so you don't need a copy. Then you just say, I don't know where I misplaced it, because she can't find her original copy. He said, I don't know where it is, I must misplace it. Then I asked, anybody saw the original copy of Sister Yun Chan's book? Wow, Sister Yun Chan, fantastic, isn't it? Now my book also can let go now. With this, I will commence the actual sharing. But I think finally he found his original copy. Okay, cultivating the Bodhisattva Way, C5, this is the actual section. Those who can see this WhatsApp can refer to it while I read out the part on the 5 stages of Bodhi mind development. This book is based on the meditation retreat conducted by Master Sun Yan in the year 1990. 1990 is about 30 over years ago, 31 years ago. There were 2 parts to this retreat. The first part was conducted by Master Sun Yan himself, and the second part, he based it on a very famous Zen master or Dhamma master Hong Tzu teaching. It seems Hong Tzu is a 2nd generation disciple of Huining, Master Huining, the 6th patriarch. These are very beautiful teachings. This Master Hong Tzu taught the silent illumination meditation. I think Master Sun Yan must have learned from him. Both are very beautiful sharing and teachings. I like this part, the 5th day sharing, when he spoke on the topic, arousing the Bodhi mind. Now I will read it to you. Please pay attention. To have the Bodhi mind or Bodhicitta is very important. In the Tibetan tradition, you always hear them talk about Bodhicitta. Chitta is mind. Bodhi is enlightenment. So the enlightenment mind, or the enlightened thought, or the seed of Bodhi, which is enlightenment. So to arouse the Bodhi mind, we need this affirmation or bodhicitta. Bodhi means enlightenment, just like the Bodhi tree underneath where the Buddha sat before his enlightenment. The Bodhi tree means the tree of enlightenment. Do you all remember when we were in Taiwan about 2 or 3 years back? I think a lot of Kayamita went with us. Even Brother Sui An's mom was also with us. We went to the temple Zhongtai Chansi. What did the abbot, who was over 90 plus years old, told us in the booklet he wrote? He said he built this way place, Zhongtai Chansi, not to become famous, not to be a monument for tourists to come and visit. Do you know what was his main intention? He said millions will come and visit this place, which is very true every year, especially those who have the affinity. He only need to have at least one of them after they come and visit. They can feel, recall their past and renew their seed of Bodhi, or plant the seed of Bodhi to walk this Bodhisattva way. Or those who have the affinity can develop the faith when they are here. And they somehow got the condition to decide to plant the seed of Bodhi. He said that single wholesome thought of Bodhi is very important. And if even only one living being among the many that go that way finally realizes Sammasambuddhahood, then all the money, expenses, and hard work they do is already worth it all. This is how cultivators of the way will understand all this. That's the reason why they will go and do a lot of this wholesome work or things. We were there at the temple, at their temple, and it was so beautiful. We were so fortunate. They even invite us all to go up to the very top level of the pagoda, which was about 7 to 9 stories high. And that special Buddha Rupang, which was housed inside it, I think is the medicine Buddha. And we had the chance to go to the uppermost floor to see it. And they even took us to all the rooms up there to see all the other beautiful Buddha Rupang and relics. The energy there was so soothing and so good. When you are there, your faith will be enhanced. And this is what he meant by having the condition to plant the seed of Bodhi with faith to walk this Bodhisattva way. To have the Bodhi mind is to arouse the altruistic mind of enlightenment. Do you know what is the meaning of altruistic? Altruistic means doing something without expecting anything in return. And if you can do that, it means you are very beautiful in your understanding. You just want to help without any expectation in return, which means you do it for others. Service above self. So an altruistic mind of enlightenment is really beautiful because you just want to help people develop the understanding and the wisdom leading to their awakening, and do things for the good of the many. Devote your service for the welfare of the many. So this is really developing compassion. Then he said, without the Bodhi mind, one can at best liberate oneself or practice worldly samadhi. So this sentence is very important. When Master Sun Yan say, without the Bodhi mind being planted, at best you can only liberate yourself, means develop the sainthood way and practice worldly samadhi. This is very true. There's a reason why you don't plant the seed of Bodhi and walk this way. At best, you can only liberate yourself or practice worldly samadhi. The samadhi in which one still have attachment. Do you know the meaning? This is what he meant by thought-based meditation, because the sound is still very strong. The sakkayaditthi is still very strong. The self-striving, meditating, doing all these things. So he said, if you do this without the bodhi mind, means the self-nature or the pure nature or the true nature, meaning enlightenment thought, which is your true mind. If you don't meditate with your true mind, if you use your mundane mind or thought to meditate, then what will happen? It will lead to thought-based meditation. That's why there is worldly samadhi. One can at best liberate oneself, means you know there is a person to liberate or practice worldly samadhi. So when you base it on thought-based Dhamma knowledge, do you know what type of samadhi you have? You may think that you have got the Dhamma, but you may also think, and you may also think you have the samadhi, but the fact is you still have attachment. That's the reason why he said you practice worldly samadhi. The samadhi in which one is still with the attachment. Therefore, the Bodhi mind is the foundation and the primary focus of all Mahayana practitioners who walk the Bodhisattva Way. Renunciation means disavowing attachment, fame, self-benefit, and worldly attachment or clinging. As our interest in worldly phenomena diminishes, our self-centeredness also diminishes. You cultivate without the mark of a self because you come from the living beings. That's the reason why all these attachments, they will start to dissipate or go. Then what is renunciation? Renunciation is to renounce all those things that are not real, so that you are not deluded, so that you don't deludedly attach, cling, and hold on to them. And he didn't explain this part because to him, he assumed others should develop the understanding. But the deep meaning is in the final summary of the first noble truth of suffering or dukkha that the Buddha expounded or proclaimed. What is the final summary? What did the Buddha say? The Buddha said, in short, it is due to your self-delusion that condition you to cling, grasp, and hold on to the five aggregates of form and mind. The upadana khandhas, the five grasping aggregate, that is the cause of suffering. That's the reason why craving is the cause of suffering. Because when you grasp, cling, and hold, you have craving. You want things your way. You believe all these are real. Your fame, your reputation, your form and mind, your physical body, your attachment. You cling to your possession, your wealth, your loved ones. All this you hold, including the phenomenal world, like your property, your wealth, your business, your title, everything else. Do you think you can really own anything? Your prized possession or antique, etc. Even your own beautiful wife, car, spouse, and all these other things. When you understand attachment is the cause of suffering, then you will understand why you must cultivate the opposite of attachment, which is renunciation. You renounce the world, the phenomenal world. You renounce all that which is unreal, conditioned arising, and dependent originating. So that is the reason why when we took the vow to severe oversection and suffering, we are cultivating renunciation. When you cultivate until you can endure and severe all suffering, it means you have no more suffering, no more attachment, no more clinging, no more grasping, etc. That's how renunciation can be perfected. And renunciation is also one of the 10 perfections to be a Sammasambuddha. But the Theravada tradition only teaches one particular type of renunciation. What is that? To them, going for to become a monk, they understand that type of renunciation. You renounce the world by shaving your head, your hair. and taking the monk's precept. And that's the only one part, kaya viveka, or self, or physical renunciation. Physical renunciation means you renounce all of your possession, your loved one, all physical things, but your mind, your thought, your idea, and your view, your opinion, etc., you're still holding on to them. Because of your clinging and your grasping, and they are so strong. That's why the true renunciation is when there is no more delusion, no more suffering. The reason why you vow to endure and severe oversection and suffering is to develop this type of wisdom. It is not non-attachment. It's wisdom that leads to renunciation of everything that is unreal. So this part is very important. That is the real renunciation. And you have to perfect that. That's how all these vows can lead to all this perfection. The second basic vow, to endure and severe oversection and suffering, is not to ask you to just endure suffering. No. Endure with wisdom and then severe them all so that in future they have no power over you. That's the reason why you cannot hold, you cannot cling, you cannot grasp. There's no need to let go. Who let go? Only those who cling and grasp need to try to let go. Without this vow, you cannot develop the wisdom and perfection. Then you vow to liberate and take across all living beings. How are you going to do that without love and compassion? That's why you must have love and compassion for living beings, because you come for the living being out of love and compassion for them. And this is the mind that you need to enable you to come for rebirth, the Bodhi mind. You no longer have delusion, because as a Bodhisattva you have cultivated long enough. Most of them are already enlightened, since they have the ability and their mind has already realized Bodhi. So technically they don't have to go through rebirth anymore, where there is no more avijja or delusion at the point of death or parinibbana. If they cannot take normal rebirth, then how do they come to this world? They come to this world through love and compassion. They pull out this pure mind through their vows. That's the reason why they have to take the Bodhisattva vow. This vow will trigger off the pure mind of love and compassion to take rebirth via a form and mind through the karmic nature which is still there. That's how they can come. Without this, they cannot come. The first vow is to cultivate love and compassion. This is the pure virtue, pure mind. States without greed, hatred, and delusion, with no mark, hence no delusion. Yet it can still come because it needs a mind to come. Ultimately, via the cultivation, you will know that there is no self involved, no mark of a living being, etc. So is there any living being to say all this? But the conditioned world's law of karma recognizes relationship, recognizes living beings. That's the reason why there is suffering within the conditioned world. There is this noble eightfold path, there is this old age, sickness, and death, birth, and enlightenment, etc. But as stated in the Heart Sutta, in true emptiness, all these do not exist. That's the reason why the Bodhisattva's wisdom is different. Their understanding is different, and their cultivation is also very different. After you have the love and compassion, you develop wisdom via the second basic vow, to endure and severe oversection and affliction through renunciation. Then no more attachment or delusion to cling and to grasp. Then the third basic vow is to perfect and penetrate all Dhamma, meaning cultivation of the perfection of wisdom, prajna paramita. That's how from there you can develop the wisdom to perfect the 10th perfection, which is the last basic vow or the Bodhisattva to realize Sammasambuddhahood, then each and every one of us who walk this path or way or Bodhisattva way, our nature will be different. Then we can add in other vows, our other vows that are unique to us, just like what most Bodhisattvas have done. Those vows are under miscellaneous vow and additional vow. Later on, I will explain in more detail all these miscellaneous vows to you. We will have to move on a bit faster. The analogy here as given by Master Sun Yan is quite good. Master Sun Yan said, if a boat is filled with rock, and if more and more rock are piled onto it, the boat will eventually sink. Similarly, when our self-importance, self-centeredness, attachment are extremely heavy, the burden of our suffering over section can sink the boat, and we will be unable to sail into the ocean of wisdom with ease. Why is it called the ocean of wisdom? Because life itself is your greatest teacher. If you don't have affliction, because you have clarity of mind, you have virtue, love, compassion, wisdom, and renunciation, then you can still sail freely into the ocean of wisdom, which is samsara, or life itself. So, ability to severe all affliction, vexation, and suffering can enable you to liberate your mind, to sail in the ocean of wisdom, which is samsara, or life itself. In true renunciation, our vexation are lightened or severed. The boat can sail smoothly. It will become prajna, the boat of wisdom, carrying us to the other shore. So all this is what the cultivation is all about. To have compassion means sacrificing oneself for the benefits of others, while simultaneously lessening our own self-attachment and delusion. Some serious practitioners tend to have more and more of the mind of renunciation and less of compassion. This is also one-sided, according to Master Sun Yan. They like to practice alone and prefer not to have responsibility. This is a kind of escapism. That's the reason why a lot of cultivators enter the forest and end up becoming hermits. If they cultivate in the forest, then later on come out into life to perfect and test themselves, then it's beautiful. They live alone and then they develop their own cultivation. The real meditation is life itself, so you cannot run away from life. It's as if every time the cultivator have problem, what do? They go for retreat, right? We have seen a lot of this type of cultivator. They will say, I think I must go for retreat more often because the world is crazy. I cannot survive. I cannot live in this world. If the Buddha is also like that, then he is not the Buddha. He is the Buddha where he is always at peace, whether in the world or out of the world. That's the reason why you cultivate until you cannot tolerate society, you cannot tolerate the daily life problem, you cannot tolerate so many things, and you become so sensitive and so miserable, then you better check your cultivation, because definitely that is the wrong practice, not the Buddha Dharma. So you have to be careful, like what Master Sun Yan said. This is a type of escapism. The same attitude occurs when that person wants to enjoy the good things in marriage, but not willing to take responsibility. They want to have the nice moment, honeymoon, etc. But after that, the responsibility to raise the kid, the child, and all those other related things, they don't want. So this is Master Sun Yan's analogy. Then he said, on the one hand, he seeks happiness, and on the other hand, he avoids responsibility. Do you remember the quality of a noble Sangha, or enlightened disciple of the Buddha? They are of wise conduct, of good conduct, of dutiful and responsible conduct, etc. That's why they hold on to their duties or responsibility. with regards to the law of karma and other nature's law that governs life and existence. That's the reason why they never neglect their duty of good conduct, of upright conduct, of wise conduct, and dutiful or responsible conduct is the order of the noble disciples of the Buddha. And these are the marks and virtue of enlightened beings. If you do not have this quality, then you have to check your cultivation. Apart from sincerity and trust, a good marriage must also have both component of happiness and responsibility. The same applies to Bodhisattva. It is necessary to have compassion as well as renunciation. Renunciation is wisdom, ability not to cling, not to hold. Can renounce anything, no problem. Even this very moment, the breath can just stop, no problem. Where this form and mind is just a condition arising entity, and it is not what you think. That's why it's impermanent. If you grasp cling hold, it will lead to suffering. And because it is impermanent, it's not a permanent and changing entity. It's not you. That's the reason why it's non-self, empty, not what you think. So this is the important understanding one has to develop when one cultivates the Bodhisattva way. The Master Sen Yen said, wisdom is not attained by wishing, but by decreasing the self-delusion, self-attachment, and your suffering or vexation. So you cannot wish for wisdom. I wish I will be wise one day. I wish I will be enlightened one day. Who is wishing? The thought is wishing, but thought cannot realize. That's why Master Sen Yen said you have to cultivate to reduce sakayaditi or self-delusion, your suffering and your vexation. You have to cultivate virtue and wisdom. To this end, we generate the Bodhi mind through renunciation and compassion. If we have renunciation without compassion, we will reject the world and develop negativity. If we have compassion without renunciation, we will attach to the world with a seeking mind. So compassion and renunciation are inseparable in the Bodhi mind. You must have love, compassion, renunciation, and wisdom. When you renounce, it means you are not attached. If you don't cling, it means you have wisdom. That's the reason why the perfection of renunciation is the cultivation of wisdom. So compassion and renunciation are inseparable in the Bodhi mind. Together they are called the Bodhi mind. The four great basic vows of the Bodhisattva are very important. When the Bodhi mind is founded on renunciation and compassion, the practice and cultivation of the Bodhi mind rests on the four great vows. That's the reason why we chant every day. I vow to deliver the innumerous sentient beings. I vow to endure and cut off all endless vexation and suffering. You should change the word to this nature of mind instead of I vow to master the limitless approach to Dhamma. And finally, this nature of mind vow to attain supreme Buddhahood through the perfection of the 10th perfection to be a Sammasambuddha. To fulfill the first vow of delivering sentient beings, we also need the second vow, which is to eliminate our own vexation or suffering while helping others to be free of theirs. Because if you cannot overcome your own vexation and suffering, how can you help others and liberate living beings? You cannot even solve your own problem. That's why they come together as a pair. You must develop wisdom to endure and severe all vexation. You must learn different ways to help living beings, and that is the reason why we vow to study and master the different approaches to Dhamma, so that we can be effective. Otherwise, we cannot teach. Then how come this nature of mind, this life, can teach? Everyone is so different. So do you think it's easy to teach? If you don't have that kind of understanding, you cannot teach. Because everyone is so different, so unique, and their karmic background, etc. And everything else are so different. This is the third basic vow. As this task is being fulfilled, we will also cultivate to become Sammasambuddha, which is the fourth basic vow. We begin to delegate ourselves for the benefits of sentient beings. And only at the last vow do we aspire to realize Sammasambuddhahood. Therefore, while the spirit of Bodhi is renunciation and compassion, on page 40 of the book, the body of the Bodhi is fulfilling the four great vows. So they divide into the spirit and the body. In fact, the four great vows embodies renunciation and compassion, and renunciation is actually wisdom. For example, the vow to deliver sentient being is love and compassion. But we can only accomplish this by renouncing Sakayaditi or self-centeredness and self-delusion. Because we can renounce our own perception, endure and severe them all. But it's only with love and compassion that we can truly help liberate living beings and relieve them from their own suffering. Thus, the four great vows are actually expedient way to accomplish these three great qualities of the Bodhi mind, which is love, compassion, and wisdom or renunciation. Some will wonder how they can fulfill each of the first of the four basic vows. Some will wonder how they can fulfill even the first of the four basic vows. They will say it's hard enough. Just to practice for our own enlightenment is already hard enough. This is the thought saying. However, one should see the vow as statement of intention, not promise to achieve something by a certain day or time. The vows are not necessarily meant to be accomplished in one lifetime. Rather, the vow is for us to develop this practice of cultivation on a long-term basis, with a long-term direction and a sense of dedication. Step by step, we gradually fulfill the vows. What you need, this is not mentioned in this book, is your faith, your sincerity, perseverance, and endurance. Unless you generate the four basic great vows, we should not consider ourselves Mahayana practitioner or cultivator of the way who walk the path of Dhamma to become Sammasambuddha. The Zen practice is basically Dhamma cultivation. When we cultivate in the spirit of the Bodhi mind to fulfill the four great vows via Zen meditation, it is no different from normal Dhamma practice, where we also establish a goal and a direction. We walk towards the goal according to our own pace, and we walk on the path towards our destiny. Guided on the path by renunciation and wisdom, we will have the wisdom to help others. We have talked about the Four Noble Truths, the three marks of existence, the Bodhi mind, the four great vows, and we have learned how to sit in silent illumination. The purpose of all this is to terminate affliction, meaning suffering. Self-importance means Sakayaditi or self-delusion, grasping and clinging. We do all this so that we will be in a better position to help others. Okay, I think we will stop here because it's still a lot to go. We will stop here first. You just relax body and mind, silent everything, then maintain awareness for as long as you can. Okay, you can slowly, mindfully come out of the meditation. Try to maintain your mind state that is being trained. Whatever inner awareness, inner mindfulness, and peacefulness of mind that you have developed, try to maintain them for as long as you can. You can be in this state of mind states when you live life that is heedful living. Otherwise, you will come to realize you tend to go back to the old habitual way of like heedlessly the thought wandering around, the thought keep on arising, and you cannot do anything about it. Eating a lot are habitual tendencies. Means Your mind is not in the state of calm, state of peace, silent, and away from inside. Most people who don't know how to meditate don't have the understanding. They cannot have that mind state. Their mind think a lot. They create a lot of thinking, mental thinking, then a lot of dialogue inside, chattering. Then very like kepo, busybody in the mind. Everything you come to perceive, you want to comment, you create concept words out of it. And sometimes you react to it, you comment, you become like the commentator. So a cultivator with the mind trained, the mind does not do that. The mind is peaceful, calm, aware, have clarity. It wants to know, it can know. It wants to arise a thought, it arises a thought. Otherwise, most of the time it's peaceful, quiet, silent, aware. Then it does not stir its mind to react. Human beings react to sense experience a lot, to what you see. There's always this sensation of like or dislike, whether the experience is pleasant or unpleasant, whether I like this sense experience or not. When you hear something, it's the same. Smell something is the same. Then where your body, the sensation, the touch, tactile, then also the environment can actually affect your bodily sensation. Then you are conditioned by the environment you are in. So there's a lot of things that cause you to react and become what you are. When you don't understand, then you develop all this heedless thinking, reaction, stir your mind, and become throughout the day not peaceful. Most of the time, not happy. So meditation is to be aware of all this happening and tell yourself your life. Do you want to live life this way? Do you choose the heedless way or the heedful way? Do you want to have clarity, peace, clarity within? The mind is constantly aware, ever mindful, with the understanding that does not react and stir. It can have joy, it can understand, but it does not become miserable, unhappy, and it does not comment unnecessarily. And the mind states are very stable. Otherwise, a lot of people, they don't know what happened. Because of small things, their mind worry. And because of fear, anxiety arise. Because of unhappiness, you lost your day. You cannot go through your day. You create thought that project makes you restless, lack of peace. You worry. Then sometimes you become sad over certain things that haunt you, disturb you, or your unresolved issue in life, unresolved problem. So all this create fear, worry, anxiety. So the mind is always in that confusion state when you lack Dhamma understanding. Okay, so with this, I will maybe end our sharing. Then we will open up for second session, meditation reporting, followed by question and answer if you have.
Yeah, Bro Teo, and this week, my family and I, we have a very intense week, you see.
Oh, is it? Oh, good. Okay. You want to
Uh,
share it?
yes, my
Good.
youngest sister, So Cheng, she
Yes.
got infected with the COVID.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So what happened was that
Uh,
on Sunday, last Sunday, she
mm,
feel bit tired and all these things. So she didn't
uh,
do anything. She thought it was like doing housework and all these things. So
okay.
on on Monday morning,
Uh,
she told me, she said she got high fever.
oh,
So
okay.
and at this particular time, when you have fever, cough or flu,
Yeah, yeah. You have
are
to be careful and
quite
take
sensitive, you see.
appropriate action. Yes.
That's right. So what happened when I straight away heard that, you see, and I saw that her face, got
yeah,
the patches, you see, because the rate and the heat. So I straight away contact my friends, and
yeah.
we are very, very lucky. Because I happen to know a friend of mine who is also the homeopathy practitioner.
Ah, good, good.
So and then by letting him know about my sister's symptoms and all these kind of things, and then he told me to get one remedy. And so happened I got the homeopathic remedy at home, you see.
uh,
And also he suggested me to have another one, is the Chinese herb, you see.
yeah, yeah. Better.
川心莲
Yeah,
a very,
transit.
very bitter, a
Yeah,
very
yeah,
bitter, yeah.
yeah.
So both both medicines, we straight away give ask my sister to take.
Take.
And then in the afternoon, she went to go to see doctor because she want to apply leave, you see. And
Oh, okay.
the doctor also asked her to do the test.
Uh,
But the test result will only know in the following days, you see, which is
yes,
on
yes,
Tuesday.
yes. Yeah.
So and then fever. She had quite a high fever, fever up to 38.
That's very hard.
Yeah, Celsius. Because what happened was that our digital thermometer was out of order. See, so we
Not
have to use
accurate.
the conventional, the
Yeah, yeah,
mercury
yeah,
type. The
yeah, yeah,
mercury type, the maximum is only 38.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It
So
should be higher.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. And then so when she came back from the doctor, from the
Yeah,
clinic, she
yeah.
already self quarantine. You see,
Okay, okay.
because even though the result is not out yet, but we
Yeah.
don't know. See, we also very have to
Mm-hmm.
be cautious. And the next day morning, she told me that the temperature is back to 37.2.
Mm-hmm.
It's normal, you see. and
Mm.
then and then we thought that is just a normal fever, but later on, shortly after, the doctor sent the message, say that she got infected.
Positive.
uh
Positive.
yeah, yeah. Then then we just observe, we just observe. And then I spoke to my friend, and then we see,
Mm.
how should we do. And then he suggested me to take some of the to buy some of the Chinese herb, you see, to boil
Yeah,
the
yeah,
water for her to drink.
yeah,
At the
yeah.
same
Very
time,
helpful.
we observe, is it daily, day by day. And
Yeah,
then the third day, she start to have cough,
yeah, yeah. That one will happen. Yeah,
and then cough. And then what happened was that the cough have the red
flame.
mucus, you see, it's like blood,
Flame.
is it a bit
The
blood, you see.
flame. Yeah, flame.
The flame, a bit blood,
Flame.
you see.
They call flame.
So yeah, that's right. And then I consulted my friend again, you see. And then he suggested me to take another remedy.
Mm.
So I let my sister to take, and then 3 times a day, you see. So
Mm.
the next day, which is on Thursday, the mucus is no more red color already.
Oh, good.
Okay, it's black. It is the color have changed to sort of like yellowy, you see.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so that is another progress.
Mm.
So what happened is, like my friend say, you cannot treat COVID as a COVID, you see. You have to treat the symptom, you see.
Yeah, yeah,
See
yeah.
the symptoms. So I mean, my sister really got a very good parami lah, because we have so happen we know the friends, and then the friend
Yeah,
is very
yeah,
close to us.
yeah, yeah.
So and then by by today, you see, is
Yeah.
everything back to normal, you see.
Oh, good, good, good.
Everything
Tell
back
her
to
to
normal. The mucus
tell
no
her
more.
to rest more and drink more of the herbs
Yeah,
for
yeah,
whatever cough and recovery on fever.
yeah. And actually, it's quite strange, you see, because my sister is very careful. She she didn't go out. The most is like she do the gardening, only doing the gardening. And even when the parcel from Lazada or Shopee, arrive, you see, she will leave it outside for 2 days, And then when she want to pick up, she will sanitize the parcel, and then only then she will just collect. Yet she also kena, you see. And the last we sort of like do the checking. The last time she went out was 10 days before she got infected. That was the day that she went for vaccination, you see. But it was 10 days, you see. It was 10 days.
The symptom will appear about 10 to 14 days later on. That is the most probable place. Where that place, a lot of people vaccination.
Yeah, but one thing is like if she went to the clinic, it's a nearby clinic. She didn't went to the big vaccination center, see. So it's just a clinic. So according to my friends, my friends who practice the homeopathy, he said that the very crucial now is like every one of us have to strengthen our immune system.
Yeah. That one is very important. That's why you must have the immune system, either homeopathy or Chinese herb to help you. In fact, I think if you want the medicine, I have some from Padmasuri. He actually, out of love and concern, he sent to us quite a bit. So earlier on, Manyuan, the mother side, I think we sent her some, but only she take that, she recovered. But there is another type when it's actual COVID, only you take one. That one, if you have oxygen problem, that one very effective. The China one, the Xingguan Fei, and I don't know.
In fact,
I have them. Then I can also contact anybody. I think most of our Kalimantan know. Padmasuri, you can check with her, but I have on my side.
Yeah, it's okay. Anyway, she sort of like settled down, lah. See, she already settled down. And in fact, very
oximeter you have or not?
Yeah. In fact, my sister oxygen level is the highest among all. See, 99%.
No problem, but monitor that.
We
that one is a good indicator. Once that one start to give a reading that is below 90, especially 93, 94, then start to fall down. That is the sign of the lung infection, means the lack of oxygen. So that one is a sign. So immediately should take something, medication. That Chinese medication, I have heard a lot of people who take it, they recovered. Having breathing difficulty, everything, and they take. After 3-4 days, they recover. Immediately they feel they can sleep. Breathing become better. Then within 3-4 days, they actually recover.
So one thing is like because the virus attack different person, and then because of the different person have different
immune system. Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
So our body, you cannot overwork until very tired. When you are very tired, your immune system is low. Then after vaccination, your immunity also low. That time you have to rest. You have to actually have more precaution. Try not to go out. But now with the new Delta variant is very severe. But that one spread very fast. Then I was told by my wife today, the new cases shot up to 17,000 plus. It's very bad. I think there's a lot of new cluster they cannot go. That according to our DG Health, Dr. No. A lot of these are from the interstate travel on the community type of spreading cluster, which they cannot do anything because they call it the index case, means the one who they realized was the first to spread, then immediate contact, wow, the first immediate contact, all the close contact, very high number COVID positive, means spreading like anything. And they only realize after so many days when this particular person go and test, then only they realize. By then, the 18, the close contact would have spread to so many more. That's why the thing is spreading very fast.
Yeah.
So is the immune system more important? We have to strengthen our immune system.
Yeah.
Chemotherapy is one of the good one. Then the Chinese herb, I think Pamasuri also gave us one time where my mother, my wife, boy, and we drink. It's like quite bitter, uh,
Mm.
but it's good. That one is like strengthen your immune system one. Like you drink them for precaution. So Pamasuri also make for Brother Ting they drink, she told me, then they themselves also drink. So when you have people like your friend who can help, that one is very useful. So we need to rely on our close contact and maybe good contact with people who have the knowledge or the understanding to deal with all this. Uh, it's actually not that bad when you have, uh, I should say, ways to curb it. Uh, the one that really get into trouble are those who don't have any medication or ways to curb it. So this one, once they deteriorate very fast, then too late to actually do the thing, the appropriate thing. So that one they need admission to ICU, oxygen, all those things. Then that one really depend on your karma and your luck really. But before it become bad or severe, at that time a lot of things can be done. So those are very critical moments, like your sister's case, or I think you are lucky, like you say, you have that close friend. Then the other thing we have to understand about this COVID thing is generally, statistically wise, is if you don't have vaccination, if you kena COVID, I mean, this is based on statistics, most of them, 92% is either asymptomatic or slight symptom. Then they will recover. But there are 8%, which is very high, that can develop into stage 3, stage 4, and stage 5. This one is high risk. Then under the vaccination program, even our Malaysian statistics now show if there is enough people vaccinated, then that 8% drop for those vaccinated one drop to about 1.5% only. Means most of them become either asymptomatic or slight symptomatic. So that one is 98.5%. Then there is 1.5%, but relatively less than the 8%. But that figure is still high compared to those vaccinated. Vaccinated one, it go down to less than 1% or point something percent only. So vaccination is very important. But vaccination, you also have to know, when you just have yourself vaccinated, your immune system those few days will be affected. So what Dr. Jayanta advises is very good. He said you can, there's a immune system vaccine. You take one day before your vaccination, then the morning during your vaccination, and one day after. Because this vaccine that they inject into you, they are very strong, and normal people have a problem because that's why the side effect and all those things. A lot of people go through side effect problem and all those things. So what he did was this homeopathy vaccine, not really vaccine, is they call what?
A remedy.
Antidote. It's like antidote against this vaccine. But remedy is to help you reduce the effect. Then like for me, well, I take, my wife take, my daughter take, we don't feel much. For me, I was normal. I didn't have any real side effect. I was not really tired too. I can go about doing my thing, but I prefer to rest. I rest. And nowadays, wherever I have time to rest, I will rest. Then I don't want to do so much activity or thing. That's why our class, we also rest for a while during the vaccination. Those few days, I think I rested for 2 classes. So all this help. So whatever it is, if you have all this precaution, or like the Chinese herb that Pamasuri actually boil to, that one also can help, because that one is to strengthen our immune system, and that one no harm one you can take. But you really cannot COVID, then you take the other type. Don't know what's the name already.
Yeah, but according to my friends, he also know about he also studied the Chinese medication. He said that it have to be depends on different person structure, is it? Because some of the person they are Shiti based, or they are Han, they are Qi based.
Because
then you have to treat it differently, is it?
Yeah. They are more towards we call it the TCM, or what they call what TCM stand for what? Traditional Chinese medicine. Those who practice TCM type of medication, they are very thorough. They look at the symptom. You are right. But to them, everyone is different, just like meditation. They know it cannot one size fit all. But that particular herb is actually suitable for most people, except they are not so thorough. It's a general prescription because it's for the lung inflammation. When you kena COVID only, they ask you to eat. That one is because it helps to do away with the inflammation. That's why you recover. Then your breathing difficulty, or slowly you recover. And what is the name of Fei? Lian
Yeah.
Qing something. I think Fei and don't know what, I forgot. That one is quite good. That one, I think I pass it to somebody who give it to their mate, who also kena COVID. Wow, their mate, after taking that one, straight away say her breathing difficulty gone, and she feel better, can sleep. Then after 2-3 days, she recovered. She actually sent in for quarantine already on, but at the hotel. At the hotel. I read it to you. I asked my wife to read it to you. My wife to read it.
莲花清瘟经文胶囊。
莲花清瘟胶囊。Oh. I think it's the blue color one. You all know. It's in the WhatsApp. You can find it. So that one is good for lung inflammation. So those who kena COVID, the lung kena attack first. So that one is to help you break the breathing difficulty. Then your oxygen level will go up. So whatever it is, keep that as a spare. So you need to take. You take, because like they say during emergency case, critical time require critical solution. So instead of waiting for them to do something, now the hospital are overwhelmed, and a lot of the facility are, I think, overloaded, and the frontliner also very tired, exhausted, overworked. So it's not easy. You go for hospitalization. You also have to be careful because nothing much they can do, and a lot of things they dare not try because it's even like ivermectin is not officially approved. It's off label and all these things. But there are people who say they recover, but various type of medical viewpoint. So sometimes we cannot just rely on all this. We have to be more sure. For Chinese herb, I am confident that my father was a Chinese sensei, and I know how Chinese herb can deal with a lot of lung thing, fei, and all those things. So all this we need to actually find out ourselves, and a lot depend on our karma too. So like you said, in a way your sister is lucky, she got good karma. So anyway, this discussion is very good so that it can help Kayamita to be more informed. Then don't play a fool. Slightest sign or what, take action, take precaution, don't wait. Because this thing deteriorate very fast. Then if really need a solution or answer, we need to sound it out. All this type of thing, we have to move fast. Anything else,
Yeah. What I have learned from this period of time is that if a person lack of wisdom or parami, it's very difficult to survive for this period. So and all these things you have to prepare all in once. You see, it's not like happen then only you do. You see, the cultivation. That's why it's very very important. You have to. Like my friend said, you see, the immune system, not only the physical, but mentally also.
Mental is Dhamma. Otherwise, you panic, you worry. Then you become very confused. Then you don't know what to do. So the untrained mind that panic and become like worrying too much, it doesn't help. You must have clarity of mind, that you must be very, very clear about what you have to do and need to seek help. Then you should have this ability to feel who are the people who you think can help you. Then I think among our Kayamita, you can check with a few. They are good. Sri An and Pamasuri. You can call me, no problem. Then I can refer you. Then for this style particular thing, if you need the medication, I have them. I still have enough.
Yeah, I mean, my friend also said that he able to help. You see, if anybody have this kind of like
that's very good.
action. You see, so really, you see, is yeah, I mean, I'm quite glad that you see, on the day that when I heard my sister told me that she got fever, I didn't panic. I straight away, know what to do. It just automatically just do. That's it.
Because you have been trained. Your mind is different now. Otherwise, last time you panic very fast on.
Yes, correct. And also, I have to comfort my mother. See.
Yeah. Your mom is very important. Yes.
Yeah, because I have to.
Being a mom, they show their concern and all those things.
Yeah, correct. I have to, sort of like tell her the truth, but not the whole truth. You see.
Yeah. That is what fellow piety is all about. Because your intention is good, you don't want her to worry unnecessarily. So it's not really a lie in the sense that you don't want to let her know too much so that she develop the fear and anxiety. Just give her confidence that we are doing our best and should be okay.
And every day in the morning, you see, I involve the power of merits for my sister.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes,
because
that one very important.
because my sister actually, she actually helped out a lot.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
a lot of videos, you see. I
Yeah,
actually
yeah, yeah.
use her laptop to do the videos
Yes,
and then
yes,
watch
yes,
it
yes.
stick.
Like
Yeah.
also she is responsible for helping us to develop
The website,
website.
so
That's
that's right.
why she got good parami. Sadhu to her.
Yeah.
Very good, very good.
So that's why I say, you need to have all this wisdom of parami in hand, you
Yeah,
see.
yes. Like I teach you all under the yellow kite Bodhisattva Way, in time of need or tribulation, all this cultivation are very handy. They will come in your merits, your wholesomeness, your parami, your whatever uh, virtue. You can invoke power of merits for causes and conditions to recover, to turn around. They are very, very useful. So now you start to understand all this. Very good. Sadhu to you, and also to your sister's good condition and good karma.
Yeah, I mean, actually, really have to gratitude to Brother you, is it? Because really, is it? It just like my friend say, this is like a test,
Yeah,
You whatever that you have learned in the past, this
yeah,
is like you are thrown in the war zone. Like you straight
yeah.
away, just
It's
you have to
real
use up.
life test. Yes, real life test. You are like being tested because Dhamma is when you can act, then you have Dhamma. If you cannot act in time of situation, crisis, and problem, then you don't have the Dhamma. So the mind that is trained is different. It has clarity, it has understanding that you can see for yourself that is different, then a lot of things will go your way because you have done a lot of goodness also. That's why the Buddha say the only thing that protect the individual is your own virtue. Virtue protect. Virtue offer the highest protection. Uh, the other thing are not significant. So virtue is main. If you have virtue, you have the condition to come out of it. You will meet the right people, the right appropriate help will arrive, then you will know who to maybe consult. Then all this will happen. So your medication for your sister, where do you get them? From your friend?
Yeah, from my friends, you see.
Sadhu.
Because nowadays it's very fast, is it? The Lala move, all these things, few
Yeah,
hours only.
yeah. Very fast. Same day can arrive. Yeah.
And also because of the WhatsApp got the video conferencing, you see, so
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
able to see, observe my sister face, tongue, everything, you see.
Oh,
So
very
yeah,
good. Can monitor.
yeah,
Very
straight
good.
away, can know,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
should we do, all this
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sadhu, sadhu. Yeah, you can also share the video with your friend, the TCM of
I'm
it.
able to share my friend's contact, you see, whoever that needs help, you see, when it
Good,
comes
good,
to
good.
this
Sadhu.
COVID, you see. Yeah.
That's
He
very good.
actually Brother Suya know him, you see.
Oh, well, so you know him.
And also he know Dr. Jayanta. See, we all, in fact, Dr. Jayanta, we are all mutual friends. You see,
Oh, sadhu. No wonder.
so, I mean, in the
Yeah, they are
homeopathy Chinese,
homeopathy, yeah.
in the
Small
Chinese
world.
circle, it's a very small circle. You
Yeah,
see,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Small world, small world.
yeah,
Sadhu. Very good. You can share your friend's contact so that Kavita, whoever who need advice, can maybe refer to him. Very
yeah,
good. Sadhu.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, and also during this periods, a friend of mine who have
Uh,
sort of like depression, you see, when he heard about my situation, he actually wanted to console me, you see, but end up I console him, you see, because
sadhu, sadhu. Yeah, because you have the Dhamma, you can do all those things now.
and
Sadhu.
really, you see, because a lot of people they do have certain level of depression, you see.
Yeah, yeah,
And,
yeah. Most people have.
yeah, and at this period of times, all this, if it's not stable, your mental level is not
Yes.
stable, it's very easy to burst out.
Yeah, it will burst out and show it very clearly. A lot of people cannot take this pandemic. Even being trapped at home, they feel they are very problematic staying at home. It's like they have been forced to be in that condition. So they don't know how to handle life. They don't know how to go about. Some of them go and think until they develop depressive thought. Then all this will lead to the cocoon of wrong thought that make them angry, unhappy, depressed. Then they become like affected, the lack of peace, the lack of understanding. That most of it is due to the wrong thought, the thinking that trigger the fear. Because if you don't have the good karmic condition, the first thing during pandemic that affect people is their job. Once they don't have a job, they panic because no income. Then they worry about their rental, their whatever basic need to stay afloat or alive. Then if they have a commitment, car loan, housing loan, family, oh, that one really can make them crazy. That's why a lot of them, they commit suicide. Then some, they forced to put up the white flag and ask for help. So not easy. That's why during pandemic, there is a real test. A lot of people are not so fortunate. They actually cannot go through it because especially those out of job, those who are not able to have their own financial freedom, then a lot can't even afford to pay their own rental, not to talk about installment. Sometimes they buy things on installment. And when you are without job, your whole livelihood disrupted. Then some of these people, their job is so risky, they have to go out. That's why, like recently, there's a video. There's this guy, not bad, a young guy. He said, at least we can now still work from home. There are a lot of people, the Grab driver, the frontliner, they can't work from home. They have to expose themselves every day to the risk and all those things. Of course, they receive vaccination. That is the only consolation. But they still got to every day out in the open, doing all these things just to make the, the system continue to function. So a lot of understanding is needed for the individual to actually sustain themselves to survive. And for those who have better condition, maybe better karma, don't have financial problem, don't have job problem, it's easier for them to manage. But they also have to manage their loneliness. Means when they are kept to stay at home, stay safe, don't go out. So all this are training of the mind. If you cannot accept all this and cannot deal with all this, then you will develop depression. You will develop unnecessary fear, worry, and anxiety. Then the lack of peace. Then some of them will complain, cannot even exercise. Then they're very eager to go out and exercise, especially those who exercise a lot. So different people has different problems. Then they worry about many things. But at least nowadays, the social media help. Now with the Olympic, I think more people can watch the Olympic. Then maybe not so concerned with the negative thought. So those who like sports, Olympic is good. Recently, a lot of channel. Then there is also a social media. Yesterday, I received from the classmate. If you don't have Astro, you can tune into, I think, is it RTM or channel 125? No, I saw, but all on Astro Sports one. Not Astro Sports, sorry, Olympic, the games one. Maybe I will share it on the my Karimita website so that those who don't have Astro can go in and access it to have a look. So all these are useful help or tools and suggestion. Good. Anything else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And over this period also, I do a lot of reflection, you see. And just like what I say earlier, I'm glad that, for the past few years, you see,
Yeah.
it paved, the path for me to do the, seek for the cultivations.
Yeah.
And the cultivation you cannot do in the last minute, you see.
Cannot.
Because like for examples, imagine if a person when he's sick,
Yes.
then he might have the opportunity to meet the real Dharma, but the thing is like his physical condition doesn't support him, you see,
Correct.
or mental condition. So really, you see, we have to really do the, we have to really glad that we have the opportunity to meet this karma when we are this Dharma when we are in the good condition, you see. And really we have to diligent practice it, because you never know when you need it, you see.
Yes.
Especially at this period of times.
Yeah. That's what Po Cheng shared, because she reflected and contemplated. Then last year onward, she became very serious because she contemplated on death. She said life is very short and she is not young anymore. Then she really don't want to neglect her life. She want to really go all out to learn all this. Then when she had the condition, she able to see the progress. She had so much joy. And she so happily wanted to share this with Kayamita and encourage Kayamita that if she can do, every Kayamita can do. Where she also, like most of you all, started without any much understanding of the teaching. Then when she becomes serious only, she follow all the instruction and progress. That's how she make it. So for you, it's the same. After you have done it, because you help out in many things, then you have the parami. Then you also have good kayamitas, like song there to motivate you, encourage you. Then you know how to reflect, contemplate, and through your observation, you saw a lot of people progressing. Then you yourself also did it. Then you also find that the result is showing up, coming. That's why you have become very different. The last few years, you become very different and you progress. And now your meditation also, you can start to understand many of this type of awareness-based meditation and the spiritual faculties, the teaching, all starts to give meaning, and your understanding help you to rejoice in all this. That's why all the short video you all do with interest and understanding, and it has come out very well. So all these are beautiful parami. Sadhu to you, very good.
Yeah, I have another incident to share.
Yeah.
About 2 or 3 months before this EMCO, these things, I went for a massage, you see, a blind person massage, body massage. So when he touches my body, he straight away said that, wow, you are a very kanchong person.
He can sense it.
Because it's all accumulated for so many years. You see.
Yeah.
So I asked him, see, then because of the body sitting structure, you see. Because we sit too long, you see. The posture, not so flexible, not so good.
Very tense.
Tense, you see. Then I asked him, then what should I do to overcome all this kanchong and all these things? You know what he say? Relax.
Relax. That's why that is the key. Because you are relaxed, all this will go. It will go.
Yeah.
Relaxation has very deep meaning. Relax until totally relaxed, like you are a dead person, like you cannot do anything. Where a dead person cannot respond, that is relaxed. Then when you are very tired, until you like no more energy to do anything, you just want to rest. That is relaxed. So they got many stages where you can really allow your mind to relax. When you don't hold on to things, when you have the Dhamma, when you are more at peace with whatever happened, then your mind become different. It has order. When it has order, it don't have problem. That's why it can settle down. Then when you want to rest, it just rests. Then all of your body and mind become very, very at peace. And you can just relax into it. Then you can feel the peace within. Because when you are very relaxed, the nature's energy take over. Where your thought don't interfere anymore. Our thought is the main culprit. Because when your thought arise, that nature's energy from our life force cannot do its work. Because the thought is like in conflict. When you are with a thought, you cannot be aware. The two is very clear. So when you are relaxed, at peace, the thought doesn't arise or the thought is at peace, then your nature can actually heal you. Then you recover, you recuperate very fast. That's why when you rest, now you know how to rest. You just go into the meditative state, relax, then develop the awareness. Then you realize you recuperate very fast. So your ability to relax, you have to really, really go deeper and deeper into it until you can feel your entire body is so relaxed. That one is key. Yeah, they all massage guy give you the right advice. Yeah, relax. That's why that is the key. What else he tell you?
Yeah. So he said that I have to be more mindful on my sitting posture, cannot cross leg, or like, sometimes too comfortable that put our leg on the table, you see, all this kind of like wrong posture, you see. So it's really, strike me, you see. And it also helped me to be more mindful, not only my physical, but also my thought level as well. It's like,
the thought is the most important. When you are mindful, you can see its movement. You can observe its movement, its reaction, how it's stirred, then how you become emotional. Because the awareness is very sensitive. And when it's sensitive, you will understand. Then you will know what to do. Because there is stress. Stress means something not peaceful. Means you have developed the tension, the stress. Your mind state is like holding on to things. But when you are relaxed, peaceful, means you can accept whatever that arises the way it is, be at peace. Then you can just settle down and relax. Then if you want to sleep, you just sleep. Otherwise, maintain awareness to rest. You become beautiful. Then after that, when you awake or when you become conscious again, it's like you have rested. It's like you have recuperated from your tired day. So that is a very good understanding that you develop through meditation. Then you know how to rest. Ability to rest is a plus point for the individual. Because most people don't know how to rest. They can't even sleep. They got insomnia. Then they can't even have a peaceful rest. Most people, when you ask them to relax and rest, they can't. They find it very difficult. It's like some got to go and exercise until very tired, and they take a bath, then only because they are very tired, they sleep. Otherwise, they cannot sleep. So most people have this problem. But if you are a cultivator, a meditator, we don't have such problem. We want to sleep, we sleep. We want to rest, we rest. Then we know how to recuperate ourselves through awareness. When the awareness is aware, it will heal you. But that is nature's energy, our life force energy. So that life force energy is from nature. And nature's energy, we can use it for our internal spiritual understanding and transformation. Instead of wasting that energy into fruitless, heedless thinking and emotion and reaction, stress, all this take up a lot of mental energy, and they are not useful. They actually create more negativity of mind state, and it will actually create a negative energy field that will lead to lowering of immune system and other things. But you have good thought, wholesome thought, peaceful thought, relaxed state of mind, calmness, just aware without the pleasant and unpleasant or sensual desire and ill will miss the mental hindrance, then the mind has spiritual faculty that is just relaxed, aware, tranquil, still, then peaceful because it has faith. Then it is not in a restless state. It is tranquil, still. Then it has Dhamma, wisdom. And because of that, that being becomes heedful, peaceful, conserve a lot of energy, can understand many things. The immune system go up. But if you have the heedless thinking, the negative thought, that negative energy field actually will cause your immune system to drop. Once your immune system drop, all your cells within your body, especially our body has 80% water. You have seen the research report of scientists, isn't it? When they put beautiful music and vibration into the water crystal, they put under microscope. It is so beautiful. But if you put them in noisy, polluted area with negative thought, or even plant, you everyday curse and scold that plant, the response is different. The plant will not grow. So all these are proven. So you can see that crystal become like mutated and give problem. So all this disease, cancer and other things, they are due to your immune system having problem. Once the immune system drop, the negative energy will start to have an effect on your body. Your bodily cells all have problem. That's why your immune system is affected. But if you have good mind state, like that friend told you, your mental and physical both also must have immune system. Good immune mental state are the one with the Dhamma. You don't have so much negative mind state, means fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow, and lamentation, insecurity, then what they call all of the negative mind state, like panic attack and all those things. Once they are not there, or your scars of memory, they never come and haunt you, your phobia are not there, then you will have less of this negative energy field and tendency. Then your immune system will not be affected. Otherwise, it go down very fast. Then your cell will mutate and you will have big problem. So all these are related to how your mind think, how your mind conduct itself. That's why Dhamma is very important. So very good, Sadhu. So you seems to start to develop many of this style of understanding through observation and understanding what you see in real life, especially from your own experience and also your family members, what you saw in society, life, and other things. Good. Anything else? Yeah.
Yeah, because as you know, I think you also told me when you first met me, is it?
Yeah.
By default, I'm a very kanchong person.
Yeah,
And
I can see, I can sense your negative vibration. You panic very fast on. You worry, then you cannot do anything on. I remember. Like you are completely caught in that thing.
yeah.
I can sense and see your fear, worry, and all those things. very kanchiong, but you have improved a lot recently. You have improved a lot. Then when you understand all this Dhamma thing, it helps you so much. So all these are very beautiful, like Dhamma understanding that you can see for yourself how it can help to solve your problem. So human being can make use of Dhamma to resolve their life problem and make their life different. So this Dhamma, like I say, can improve people's life, can transform people's life for the better. So for your case, it has worked very well. Huh? You know,
Yeah, because over the years also, I wow that I I'll be I don't want to have this kind of like kanchiong in my
yeah,
life. You see, I want to be like
yes,
more
yeah,
calmness,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then more positive,
yeah,
this
yeah,
kind of thing. You see, because really, you see, relaxation is a big subject. I mean,
yeah,
for me, is especially this
yes,
life.
yeah,
So yeah, I mean it have advantage as it's like I will do things very fast, but at the
yeah.
same the harmful part is like if I cannot solve the problem, then I will be caught in that. You see.
Yeah lah, you become
So
panic again. But always remember, like I told you, no amount of fear, worry, anxiety, and panic can help you solve your problem. It will make you worse. So why you want to panic? Why you want to develop the kanchong and the fear? Is because of delusion, where the thought go and project. Then the thought actually didn't see that this is not a reality. It hasn't happened yet. But your thought project and create the fear. I will die already lah. I have this problem. This is not a reality. This one is a problem when you don't know how to resolve it and you perceive it with negativity. That's why you project your thought. You develop all the fear and the panic. But when you meet somebody who understands, then they say, why must you panic? Well, no amount of fear, worry, anxiety, and panic can help you. To help you understand, you must calm yourself down and ask yourself, what is happening? Then you develop the clarity of mind to understand. Oh, this is at the moment I had this situation. I don't call it a problem, this situation. Then, with the clear mind, I ask myself, how can I resolve this amicably so that I can move on, so that I can have a solution? That's why the Dhamma come in. Right view leading to right understanding. Then you act. Act with what? Noble Eightfold Path, right view. If I need to ask for forgiveness, if it's due to coming or what, I ask for forgiveness. If I need to change for the better, repent, and vow not to repeat all this, then follow the advice of the Buddha, cultivate, then develop all the merits, then evoke power of merits for turnaround. These are tangible solutions. These are good Dhamma understanding. Then with right thought, with right view, it arises the right thought, the appropriate right speech, right action. We communicate with people appropriately. We speak in a very gentle, pleasant, and good way so that people can help us, can develop the understanding to actually move and resolve issue. If you don't have all this training of right view leading to right thought, right speech, right action, you cannot handle life. You will meet with a lot of conflict in life, and a lot of unnecessary misunderstanding can arise, argument can. When you panic, it makes things worse. So no amount of fear, panic, and anxiety can help. So this understanding slowly, as you reflect, contemplate, then you become very different. Then you have clarity from now onward. I am not going to arise all these wrong thoughts. Well, what are wrong thoughts? Thought that condition my fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow, and lamentation, which make me miserable, suffer, bring about negativity of mind state, means my immune system will all be affected. My mind state will be affected. I become fearful, heedless. I arise a lot of unnecessary wrong thought. that is very detrimental to my health, to my karmic nature. So why do I want to hold on to all this wrong thought? Then wrong thought will condition wrong speech, wrong action. Then you become totally miserable and you don't know how to resolve issue and solve your life's problem. That's why you cannot move. So to move, you must go back to Dhamma, Noble Eightfold Path. Then from there, everything will fall into place. So now you have understood all this. The only thing that you have to stabilize is how to apply all this, which you have started to do, but it's still not stable yet. But you have done it well because you know how to handle things and you know how to slowly resolve things. But as you stabilize all this understanding, as you encounter more and more of this and resolve it and help people, through helping people, you learn, then you will be a different, transformed person. Then you can be a blessing to many. You can help many people. Just like a lot of other Kayamita, they have started helping people. Even Suyan also, in his own way, he helped a lot of people. Then for you, you can also do it. Then even you look at Alicia, they all Pocheng and many other Kayamitas. Even Amy, he know how to solve her own problem, her own family situation, and she can see there is a lot of understanding, and she smile a lot because there is Dhamma. Then their life become different. In fact, many Kayamita benefited. So these are all very useful, very wholesome. So now, remember, all this today, what I share, you listen again, it will help you more. It will stabilize more of your understanding. You have done well. My nature rejoice. Sadhu to you. Thank you.
Yes, Sadhu. I noticed I still have a lot of room to improve, you see.
Yeah.
And I noticed a distinct difference is that, especially after this year, the beginning of this year, when I stopped develop the mindfulness and sati, and I noticed it's not theory anymore. See?
Yeah, it become very different. Yeah,
yes.
When you develop the silent mind, sati, and the mindfulness, all this become a reality. It's no more theoretical dhamma. It's no more talk only, cannot apply. Now you can apply it. It is happening to you in your own life. It manifests and you are able to handle it. You realize your panic, all those things no longer distract you and disturb you. You can overcome it now. You are different. You can see it. That's why the sati allow you to see, the silent mind allow you to see. Before that, it's all the thought telling you. There is no awareness or sati to understand all this. Now you can feel them. You can observe them. You can understand them. You can follow your thought process, your emotion. The awareness has actually taken over. Last time it's all the thought, the thinking, the worry. Panic here, panic there, don't know how to resolve things and all those things. So now it's very different. So what you have brought out is a very good point. Sadhu to you,
Yeah, it's the mind, last time the mind will automatically do the projection,
Yeah, like a monkey.
That's right. Now it's like, because of the mindfulness, once you detect it, you stop it, you see?
It subsides. Then it will not continue to proliferate or continue to create more of this wrong thought and make you more and more panicky or restless. No more already because of that awareness. The moment you are aware, it ceases to be, like Alicia said, because she reflected, contemplated, and the mind can see, these are the wrong thought that last time conditioned her into 16 years of depression. He said, and now, straight away it subsides. That's why the second right effort, to prevent the arising of the wrong thought is after you have the understanding, the initial wisdom, yoniso manasikara. The moment you have the understanding, through your mindfulness, you see them, you will not be deluded by them anymore. You will not follow them. You will not allow it to continue in that line of thinking that has created your fear, your panic attack and all, no more. It will subside straight away. This is how Dhamma actually transform a person. That's why the real cultivation, very few people understand. So now you experience all this from the way I explain, you listen, you will see it very clearly. And you have started to observe all this, which is very good. That's why mindfulness is very important. Daily mindfulness, stability of it is very important. Sadhu to you, anything else?
Yeah, I mean, the last 2 points that I would like to bring up is that the COVID is not as afraid as what we thought, is it? Provided you have to have,
correct.
Yeah, provided you have to have the the right medication and then the proper care, is it?
Yes.
So very important. I mean, this one, I think we able to help, is it?
Yes,
yeah.
That one help a lot.
Yeah, this one. And then the second thing is like, do the cultivation diligently and then do more merits. Build up all the merit bases.
That will help the individual.
Because at this era, if you lack of wisdom or merits, or paramits, it's not easy to survive, is it?
Not easy to survive. You're right, Sadhu.
That is what I would say. Yeah, Sadhu.
Thank you so much. Let us rejoice with all the good sharing. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.